The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
All right. Welcome, guys, to Coach's Corner, episode number 7. It's hard to believe that we are already 7 episodes in. If you guys are watching this live, today is December 18th. That's right. Today is December 18th. We are 1 week away from Christmas, exactly to the day. Super excited to be on here, share with you guys today what we got going on. If you're watching this live, hashtag live. If you're watching with us later on and you're catching up, hashtag replay. But if you're here, stick around. We're going to be giving away a few things. One is Habit Life gear. Also, book Man in the Mirror. If you're lucky, you might get a t-shirt also. So before we get into today, I want to actually recognize a few of the guys inside Habit-Based Lifestyle Accelerator for some wins for the week. Every Friday we do wins for the week, and I think it's important that we do this. You know, if you own a business, you work with clients, it's important to remind them of the results they're getting every single week and to pull out wins. But I wanted to read something one of the guys had sent me from the other day, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I want to just share with you. One is Joey Kramer. He's a chiropractor out of Texas. Over this last week, he did 16,500. Now you may be like, okay, that's awesome. But here's the thing is 3 months ago when Joey came into our program, he was struggling in his business. And what I mean by struggling, it was just, he was kind of just averaging this amount or this number every single month. But he took many of the things that we've trained him on, helped him with, and now, you know, he did 16,500 in 1 week, which would normally be a whole month for him 3 months ago. And so one of the things he said to me was, remember when we had our first call and I told you this was my monthly average and you said, you don't work with average. And so one of the things that I really try to challenge everybody I work with is, hey, whatever your average is, you know, we're getting rid of that number and we're going to 4X, 5X that. And I just wanted to do a shout out to Joey. Also, he had wrote something earlier in the week that was super powerful that I want to share also, because I thought it was really important that, you know, we share like wins with people. Yes, like money wise, but also, you know, thinking of ways that, you know, we help people, not just, you know, financially, but in their life, in their lifestyle and other things. Well, let me do this. So Sabrina Sahar is a kind of a hybrid trainer. I wanted to share a testimonial from her. She's like, hey, my biz is at a new level. I'm usually scrambling in December with New Year's specials, kids wanting my attention, and overall feeling frazzled. I'm home more than them, lowered my overhead, higher revenue, less stress, and getting better clients, getting results, amazing lifestyle results. I'm grateful for the place I'm in, as well as the support I receive. Being an entrepreneur can feel lonely, but not in here. Even though there were several types of businesses within this group, everyone is quick to offer feedback and accolades. So, again, another testimonial on, you know, not only improving your business, but just improving in time, efficiency, and also improving in lifestyle, which is what we do. So I want to go back and read Joey's thing he wrote the other day. He's like, hey, I need a moment to celebrate with you all. For the last 3 years, my practice has been a grind. I've tried every gimmick known to man, ads, discounts, all those things. From this group, since joining, I've had 3 record months in a row. Today's December 15th, 2020, and I've sold almost 46,000 in care and collected 29,000 in cash. This team has taken me to the start of a level I expect to be at monthly and cannot be more grateful. I pray for this team and your success daily, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to learn from everyone on this team. I love you guys. So I love hearing those things. I love reading those. It makes me, just appreciate my clients, what we have to offer, and then also the way that we're impacting clients. Also, I want to do a shout out for Dr. Ryan. He did 12,500 this week. And he crushed it, getting people ready for the new year. He's a chiropractor out of Canada and also does coaching. So I wanted to give him a shout out too and recognize that. So let's get into today's podcast or today's show. Obviously 2021 is quickly approaching. And with 2021, what is the number one thing people are focused on, Caleb?
Is it their goals?
Of course, right? Every new year.
Goals.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of get into a conversation about, we kind of talked about this yesterday. You were even sharing at lunch, hey, these are some of the goals I have. And kind of as we got some dialogue going, I got to really learn and understand what your goals are so I can help support you in that. But what do you think maybe the reason you haven't hit your goals before, when you've set them? What do you think the reason is?
For me personally, the biggest reason is not staying committed to it. I think I start off real strong. January, February, I stick with those goals, and then either around March, April, I either forget about it, I stop putting it at the forefront of my mind, and I kind of get like busy with life and make excuses to change my goals because the goals I had originally set don't fit what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean?
For sure. So you just kind of came off 75 hard, which was like 75 days. Like, we talked a little bit about this last week, but like, why do you think you were so committed to that versus maybe other things you've tried in the past?
This goal specifically, I had a stronger why. I had a stronger why behind it, or a reason why I wanted to do it. And you were talking about this yesterday to me. You're asking me, why are you setting this goal? Why are you setting this goal? And for the 75 hard challenge, I stayed committed because I really wanted to build that consistency to help create my own person, moving out of my parents' house, building my own foundation, my own level of consistency. So my own independence really pushed me to want to do that. Whereas other goals, typically it's for not as great of reasons, and I lose my purpose or reason why I'm doing it and eventually fail.
Okay. Good. And, having a strong why is super important. It's very powerful. It's probably one of the most important things that you can have when it comes to setting a goal. But one of the things that I've found is most people don't hit their goals in business or life. One, yes, probably because they don't have a strong why. But I do think people a lot of times have good intentions on their why, but what they don't often have is a plan. And so, what does that mean? That means that I would guess, part of the reason why you were successful with 75 hard was it kind of gave you a detailed plan and broke it down and made it very simple. And that's where I really see people struggle. It's like, we want to improve, things in our marriage. We want to improve things inside of our business. We want to improve things inside of our health, but it's like we create this big gap, right? It's kind of like, here's where I am, here's where I want to go in like 90 days, 75 days, whatever this is. But we leave out the simple steps that's actually going to get us there. And, and that's why I like programs like that, because they really took care of the simple steps for you. So all you really got to do is just follow the program. But even when I ask entrepreneurs this, even when I talk to business owners about this, it's like they have a strong, here's what I want. They have the strong why. They know when they want to do it, but where they mess up is the how and the strategy behind that. We kind of got into a conversation yesterday. I'm like, dude, how are you going to do this? And you're like, well, I'm just going to kind of hang out. And we were talking about your brothers. You're like, I'm just going to kind of hang out with my brothers. Or, you said you kind of struggled with before is you'd wait for someone to tell you what to do, but yet it was your goal and you never really owned, it when it's your goal, you have to own it and be in control of whether or not you hit it. If we leave it up to someone else, this is something I had to learn at one time, is when I left it up to someone else, I'm kind of like, well, they didn't tell me what to do, so that's why I didn't hit my goal. And that kind of becomes a frustrating place. And, we talked yesterday, we're like, hey man, if this is your goal, you've got to go after this, and that was one of the big takeaways for me was, just kind of sitting there. It was like, hey, if you make this goal, that means you're committed to going after it. And nothing is going to get into your way.
Yeah. I think the next step after finding that why is like you just said, is getting down deeper into the steps that are going to get me there. I forget a lot of times that a goal requires a plan, and a plan requires steps. And I just think I'm going to get to my goal by like wishful thinking,
For sure. Yeah. And, I think that's one of the things that has really made me successful was, not only was I good at setting goals, not only was I good at accomplishing them, but even just sitting down with clients, like, okay, let's make a map on how you're actually going to pull this off, and simplify this so that you can, be as successful as possible. So I want to kind of go into this at the end, because there was another thing we talked about, but we'll wait. Right now, I want to give away a t-shirt. So if you guys are watching online, let me pull this up on my phone. If you guys are watching right now, we're going to give away a t-shirt. Hopefully you're an XL or a medium, because we're out of larges and we are working on getting some more. So hopefully if you're watching this live, #live, and you got an opportunity to win a shirt right now. If you're on the replay, you may actually end up getting this on the replay. So make sure you type in Habit Life, and this will help you win a t-shirt. First person who does it, they're going to win the t-shirt. So let's see who does this. By the way, here's the t-shirt that we're giving away. You can only get these if you're inside the Habit-Based Lifestyle program. So we want to make sure you guys have access to this. You guys are also able to win some gear and, be able to support it and run around with it on. Okay, so what's the number one thing you think it takes to be successful in business and life, like heading into 2021? Like what you've learned the last year, what's the number one thing you need to be successful?
I would say the biggest thing to be successful is consistency. That's just what I've learned over the past this past year, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Consistency can fit in and build all of those areas.
Okay. And was there a time in your life where you felt like you weren't consistent?
Oh yeah, there was a time where I was consistently inconsistent. I think there was a time in high school where I really wanted to work on my body, getting better PRs and lifting more for football. And I would go work out before school. So I'd wake up before school, go to boot camp and work out there as well. And one of the biggest reasons why I didn't really get that extra edge in the weight room that I wanted was because I would go for a week straight for the first week. And then the second week I'd get a little tired and I would go like 3 days that week, and then I would miss the third week. And then I would see if I would come back the fourth or fifth week, and I would go significantly less than I used to. You know what I mean? Or if I wanted to do 2 workouts after work or after school, I would sometimes some days miss some days. Some days I would not go twice a day like I wanted to. And I was super inconsistent on my workout schedule, on my eating, and everything. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So I mean, I think one of the things that kind of originally taught me how to be consistent was going to the gym. And, you know, I will tell you that, like, growing up, I wasn't the fastest kid. I wasn't the strongest, but I was probably the only person I knew who was consistent. So, like, you know, from 12 years old, I started working out 2 times a day. You know, a lot of times I started boxing at like 10 years old. So I was getting ingrained in my head that, you know, consistency was ultimately the thing that I was committed to. And I was committed to working out every single day. I was committed to, you know, going to the gym and doing whatever I could. Now, at the time, you know, I can remember wanting my chest to grow and doing chest consistently. Like, I think at one time I got up to like 21 days straight of doing chest, thinking that would be the thing that would make me grow. And, you know, all it did was really just give me a lot of pain in my chest. And, you know, that wasn't the case. But what it taught me was exactly what I wrote in my book. My first chapter is being committed to consistency. And I think it's easy to say, but hard to do. But I think it always goes back to, you know, what we're talking about. It's like, hey, do you have a strategy that helps you be consistent? Because if it's not a simple enough strategy, you're not going to be consistent at anything, let alone fitness, or let alone, you know, business. And I think that's where a lot of people screw up is, if I don't make my goals simple, if I don't make my life simple, then, you know, I'm going to be inconsistent. And, you know, I really believe that we're all consistent at either getting closer to what we want or getting further away. But either way, you know, we are consistent. It's just, are we getting closer to what we want or getting further away? And I think that's ultimately, like, the big thing that I see is people have not simplified their process enough to make it easy to understand. And so therefore it's hard for them to be consistent.
Yeah. And I would even bring it into, like, we talk about fitness a lot. We talked about fitness last week too, but even for business owners who have employees or are managing people around them, they can bring in consistency into their relationships too, which a lot of people don't simplify that process. A lot of people don't think about, how can I be consistent in my relationships? That was a huge one for me too.
Yeah, I would say, like, how are you consistently showing up for your employees? How are you consistently showing up for your spouse, your kids, you know, and things like that, because those relationships impact the other consistencies we have in our life.
What do you think? What do you think is the number one thing that people are missing in consistency in their life, that drastically would help them build their business if they were to stay consistent in this one thing?
Like, consistent in something. And well, number one in business is, like, I think most people don't have an idea of what it actually takes for them to increase the production in their business from a sales and leads perspective.
Yeah.
They haven't broken it down into, like, a simple equation. Yeah. So, like, if I know exactly what it takes, so kind of like, think of this as, like, okay, if I wanted to lose weight or lose body fat, I would know I need to work out so many days a week. I would know I need to follow my nutrition 80% of the time. I need to probably do like 4 to 5 things consistently. Well, business is not really any different. but we put a lot of emphasis in a formula for nutrition and like weight loss, but we don't
Yeah.
put much emphasis in that same thing for getting leads, for getting sales. And so we just kind of show up and hope that people are going to come in and want to buy from us. And so I really believe that, we don't have very good business habits that have made things simple enough to understand how to get leads, how to get sales. And
Yeah.
so it's very hard for us to be consistent.
Ah, I see. Yeah. That's a good one.
Okay, let's give away our hat. So we got a couple things. So I want to make sure Josh said is a high C type personality. Simplicity is a struggle. So what I'll say is part of the reason like you have a coach, or part of the reason you work with other people is to help you with that and simplify. And I would say, there's a lot of guys inside of our program that maybe I would say I'm very high level. As soon as you say a goal, I'm like thinking, okay, how do I break this down and make it simple for them? Not everyone operates that way. And I have to understand that also. And so really my goal to do is to always help people break things down and simplify them so that it makes it easier for them to understand. And that's one of the things that I've been able to do my whole life, all the way dating back to, sports, athletics, working out in high school, was, being able to simplify everything that we did just to make it easier. And so what I would say, surround yourself with people, which is what we're going to talk about, kind of next, but surround yourself with people that complement that side of you, because there's some things that sometimes I can be very robotic in what I'm doing. And I don't really care if I don't feel like doing something. If I know I got to do it, I'll just end up doing it. And not everybody operates that way. And so I understand that too. But as I work with clients, I get to kind of help them simplify things. So, guys, if you want this Habit Life hat, these are hot off the shelf, brand new. We'll see if we can get it to you before Christmas. But if you want this, I think JJ got one of these last week, and then also put it on his profile. So he's a stud, man. He took a picture of this, put it on his profile. So if you want this, type in Habit Life. We'll make sure that you get a hat right away sent out. We should be able to try to get it there before Christmas, depending on where you live. So just type in Habit Life if you want a hat, and we'll get this sent out to you. Okay. Anything else, Caleb?
No, I think it's pretty good on consistency. I was just curious what you would say to business owners and how they can be more consistent in their business so they can make more money. And you answered that perfectly.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we also talked about yesterday was, being able to constantly improve. What is the mindset that goes into that? And I think one of the things that we talked about was, hey, whenever I say I want to improve in something, I'm always thinking ahead about what do I need to learn? And then what do I need, or who do I need to leverage to do that? And we talked about this yesterday, and you were kind of like, wow, I never really thought in those terms. But what did you like take away from that?
Yeah, so we talked about goals for business, and I wanted to learn a lot of things in business. And I told you my goals, but I didn't really know how I was going to get there. And you asked me, what do you need to learn to improve in that area in business? And then who do you need to leverage? And the biggest thing I took away was, I think for me, it's super easy to say like, oh, I can do it myself. Like, oh, this goal, like I have a goal. I know why I want to do it. Need to break it down, but I can do it myself. So I work a lot. Like Googling things and doing it myself. Whereas you brought it to my attention, why don't you look at 5 or 6 experts in that area who's already crushing it, and boil it down to see which one you would want to work with, want to learn from, want to follow. And that was a huge aha for me, that I don't have to figure it out on my own. There are already people who are doing it. I just haven't leveraged them. I haven't even thought about or considered leveraging people who are already doing what I want to do, and learning from them, filling in
Awesome.
that gap. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we look at, like, when you look at a goal, it's kind of like, hey, you can always do things on your own,
Yeah.
but how much time is that going to cost you? How much more money going the long route? So, like, say maybe you could figure out how to lose 20 or 30 pounds in 18 months. If I could learn how to do it in 3 months, working with a coach or trainer or someone who specializes in it, now I've just saved myself 15 months. And so now I can kind of move on to the next thing. And so, when I really look at setting goals, when I look at setting a strategy, I'm like, okay, who can I learn from, or what books could I learn from? I typically, I like books, but like I typically, paying $14 or $15 for a book isn't really going to inspire me to like make massive changes. But if I hire someone, typically for me, it's got to be, a certain amount of money to put enough pressure on me to make me do it. And so that's where we step into coaches, experts, things like that. And so I really start looking at, hey, who could I learn from? Who could I leverage to learn this faster? And that's how we really accelerate our life and speed up our results and whatever we're doing. And, like you said, if you want to work with people, like, you need to interview 5 people, and you need to kind of nail it down to, okay, who's the person that has what I want to learn? Who's going to save me time? Who's going to save me energy? And who's going to save me money in the process of doing that? And I don't think people look at goals that way, to where they're actually like, okay, I need to hire this person. I need to hire this expert. I'm going to make sure that, and so that holds you accountable to whatever goal you set out. And if you want to speed up your results, like hire a coach, hire an expert, because they're ultimately saving you time. They're going to compress time in your results and your goals.
Yeah. Money is, putting money down is a huge motivator.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, guys. So last thing. So we have Thomas Smith said he's got the hat, Habit Life hat. So we got a book, Man in the Mirror. This is for a free book, signed copy. It's a book I wrote 2 years ago. Kind of talked about like my life story, things that I've been through. Not in here, even though, and other things like that. So we're going to be giving this away. So if you guys can type in Man in the Mirror, if you want to just type in MIM, Man in the Mirror, you can win this. So just type it in right now, and we'll make sure you get a signed copy of this over the next week. So that's it for today. So go ahead and type that in. Anything else you want to leave us with?
No, I think that's about it. I think as 2021, I think the first step is to set goals. A lot of people say, oh, I didn't really follow through my 2020 goals. So what's the point of setting goals for 2021? I think it only doesn't work if you don't change the way you attack your goals. So for me, definitely wasn't going to set 2021 goals because of like my 2020 goals. I kind of fell through. So why does it even matter? And I think it matters because if I just keep doing what I'm doing and keep attacking the goals the way I have been attacking it, I'll never get through 2021 with the goals I actually want, or at least the first quarter or second quarter. So I think it's really about also developing your strategy the way you attack it. Every season is going to require a new strategy. And right now, for me, it's going to be simplifying the process and getting myself an actual game plan to do daily, because I know that's worked for me in the past or this story.
Nice. And a couple things. We got a program launching first week of January. It's going to be called 100 Days to 100K. So our goal is to get you 100K in additional revenue inside of 100 days or less. We got several clients inside of our program that have been doing this, and I really want to launch this as a program because it's something that I see that has a massive impact on your business. This is additional revenue. This isn't existing revenue. So if you're interested in that, you want to find out more, just type in 100 days to 100K. We'll send you a private message. Also, If you guys are watching this, watching on the replay or watching it live on Wednesday, I did a training for setting your 12-month goals for 2021. And then this Wednesday, I'll be doing the one for 90 days. And then the following Wednesday, I'll be doing one that sets up how to kind of break all these things down like we've explained today. So make sure you go back and you watch that because that's going to be inside of Coach's Corner episode 6. So I want to make sure we give you value. I want to make sure you get set up in the new year. And I want to make sure that you are equipped to begin living this habit-based lifestyle that we talk about. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse